What if I told you that the very thing making you brilliant is also making you blind? That every book you've read, every lesson you've mastered, every idea you've hoarded has become a cage. A golden cage, yes, but a cage nonetheless. There was once a man named Kaelen. He knew everything. And that was his curse. This is the story of the empty cup, and why the wisest people in the world guard their emptiness like treasure. Kaelen was not ordinary. By 25, he had memorized the works of 100 philosophers. By 30, he could argue both sides of any debate with surgical precision. His mind was a library, his tongue a blade. People called him brilliant. But brilliance has a shadow. Inside his skull, a storm raged endlessly. Silver horses, thousands of them, galloping in every direction, thoughts colliding, theories wrestling, questions multiplying like wildfire in dry grass. He could not sleep. He could not rest. Even in silence, the noise was deafening. He had answers to every question, except the one that mattered most. Why am I so empty inside? One night, beneath a sky littered with stars, Kaelen made a decision. He would seek out the master of the silent peak, a recluse rumored to live beyond the mist-wrapped mountains, a man who had not spoken in 7 years, yet was said to hold the key to inner peace. Kaelen packed a single bag, scrolls, manuscripts, his journals filled with underlined passages and margin notes. He needed to prove himself, to show the master he was worthy of wisdom. The journey took 14 days, through bamboo forests that whispered in the wind, over rivers so cold they stole the breath from his lungs, up stone steps slick with moss carved by hands long turned to dust. Finally he arrived. The master's dwelling was not grand. It was a simple hut, wooden beams darkened by age, walls of paper and shadow. The scent of cedar smoke curled through the air like a prayer. Wind chimes sang softly in the mountain breeze. And there, seated on a woven mat, was the master. He did not look up. His face was weathered like driftwood shaped by the sea. His eyes were closed, but Kaelen could feel them. Seeing everything, saying nothing. Kaelen bowed low. "Master," he began, voice trembling with rehearsed humility, "I have traveled far. I have studied the teachings of the East and the West. I have read the Stoics, the Buddhists, the Taoists. I have come to learn from you, to understand what I have not yet grasped." The master said nothing, only gestured to the mat across from him. Kaelen sat, between them a low table, on it a clay teapot and 2 cups. The ceremony was about to begin. The master lifted the teapot. Steam rose in delicate spirals, smelling faintly of jasmine and earth. He tilted the spout over Kaelen's cup. The tea poured, amber, warm, beautiful. The cup filled, and the master kept pouring. The tea reached the brim. Still he poured. It spilled over the edge, hot liquid running across the table, pooling onto the wooden floor, soaking into the mat beneath Kaelen's knees. Kaelen's breath caught. "Master, master, stop! The cup is full, it can hold no more." The old man's eyes opened, slowly, like the dawn breaking over a still lake. "Yes," the master said. His voice was soft, but it filled the room like thunder. "Like this cup, you are full." He set the teapot down. "You come to me brimming with knowledge, overflowing with ideas, crowded with the words of others. Every corner of your mind is occupied. There is no space left." Kaelen's throat tightened. How can I pour new tea into a cup that is already full? The silence that followed was not empty. It was vast. It was the kind of silence that swallows you whole and spits you out reborn. Kaelen looked down at his hands, at the scrolls he had carried up the mountain, at the weight of his own arrogance. And for the first time in years, he felt something crack open inside him. "You think," the master continued, "that emptiness is weakness, that to not know is to be less, but you are wrong." He lifted his own cup, empty, clean, waiting. The empty cup is not nothing. It is ready. It is potential. It is the only vessel capable of receiving. Kaelen's eyes burned. "Your mind," the master said, "is not meant to be a vault. It is meant to be a river, always moving, always releasing, always making space for what comes next." He poured fresh tea into his own cup, slowly, mindfully. The wise do not cling to what they know. They hold it lightly. They let it flow through them. And when the time comes, they let it go. Kaelen exhaled, a long, shuddering breath he had been holding for years. "Empty your cup," the master whispered, "not to become ignorant, but to become open, to become alive again." Here is the truth that Kaelen learned on that mountain. A full mind is a closed door. You cannot grow if there is no room. You cannot learn if you already think you know. You cannot heal if you refuse to release. And today, in 2026, our cups overflow faster than ever before. 1,000 voices in your pocket. Notifications like rain that never stops. Opinions, hot takes. Endless scrolling through lives that aren't yours. We carry more noise in a single day than Kaelen carried up that entire mountain. But the principle remains unchanged. Emptiness is not absence. It is presence. It is the quiet space where clarity is born, where intuition whispers, where wisdom takes root. So ask yourself, what are you holding on to that no longer serves you? What old belief, what outdated identity, what borrowed ideas taking up space in your cup? What voice, digital or otherwise, are you letting drown out your own? Let it spill. Let it go. Make room for who you are becoming. This is Vital Tales, where ancient wisdom meets modern life. If this story stirred something in you, empty your cup by sharing it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more stories on wisdom, motivation, and growth. And remember, the empty cup is the only one worth filling. Until next time, stay vital.